I have friends and family in my life, or if I'm in a city where my family doesn't live, at least I have a family of friends that I know that can take care of me, like you were bringing up with your friends, like dropping groceries off to them and helping them out. And so for me, I just feel like this is such a great opportunity for us to go beyond where we normally go to as a society, which is fear. And then and then we lose with that fear, we start to lose all of our rights. And we start to lose all this stuff, and before you know it, it feels like, and I'm not sure, I don't have any information, I'm not some political show, but it feels as though we're going to the place that they're going to design some sort of vaccine, and then we're all going to need this vaccine. Whether you agree with vaccines or not, I don't think that we should lose our rights and then then have to deal with that. So there are ramifications for us not dealing with fear. And so you brought up a great point, Sheryl, about like, okay, you look at the fear for what it is, you look at all the outcomes that could happen, and hopefully that relaxes you.
Like, get comfortable with the worst case scenario.
Right.
Given that I feel like we've ruled out death, although I feel like I'm not afraid to die, but I understand that most people are. So if you rule that out and get comfortable with the worst case scenario of I'm going to get sick, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, if you can kind of get comfortable with those worst case scenarios, to me in some way, like, it just doesn't seem that bad. I get sick, I'm going to handle it. I can't pay my rent, I'm going to handle it. Maybe I'll pay it in a couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. And go.
Fear is controlling so many people right now. Like, it's like they're almost paralyzed. And I feel like that alone is going to get them sick.
Right.
Like, just the paralyzing,
Right, because fear lowers your immune system, and when your immune system's lower, disease happens, flus happen, viruses happen, everything happens. So how do we manage that fear in present time when you're fear? And you have parents that have fear, you have parents that are dealing with their kids at home, so it's like 4 people, 5 people locked up in a house. And so one of the easiest things that I know that we've talked about briefly was setting boundaries. So if you're an adult with kids at home, that you have time for yourself to reflect. But as a group, I think what's manageable when it comes to fear is the Buddhists have a thing that when anger comes, you say anger. And it dissipates because you acknowledge it. Like you were talking about looking at that fear, right? Looking right at it and seeing what those
makes
things
it
are.
dissipate
Right.
slightly instead of just like,
right. So when
I'm so fearful.
Absolutely. So when that fear comes, what I feel like we can do is we acknowledge the fear is here, we see it for what it is, and what can help you in the present time that you're in is following your breath, right? And one of the basic things that we do that is very helpful is if you do longer exhales, because it gets the back of your head where your nervous system and vagus nerve is, and it relaxes you. So if you were to do like 3 to 4 breaths in, and then you double it 6 to 8 out, and you do that when the fear comes, at least you have a way to kind of relax your mind and body. And then that maybe gives you the opportunity to do what Sheryl was talking about. Now you can finally look at, okay, this fear came up to teach me something. What is it showing me? Well, it's showing me that if I get this thing, death is an outcome, okay, so I can't really do too much about that, right?
Yeah, and aside from the small percentile, and we're not trying to diminish that, you're probably not going to die. And again, my friends who have it, they're sick. I actually feel like I had it way back in December, and I was sick. I was sick for like a month, but I just don't understand what everyone's so fearful of, aside from the fact that the media and everyone else is being told you should be fearful right now. Or I can relate to this from the past in my life, is just like fear of the unknown. Like that's right. What causes like blanket fear, is fear of the unknown. And that's where I'm saying, like, maybe then really look at it. Like, it's not necessarily fear of the unknown. Like, you might get sick, you can have some financial problems.
But I also feel like with people not being in work, right, that this is an opportunity to find out what your gifts are. Right? Isolation's a good space to go for a walk, to go for a hike, to think about what matters to you now. Because if it's come down to this, and all you're thinking about is this, it's taken away from who you are. And who you are, you have gifts to bring this planet. Whether they're artistic or business or financial or whatever, maybe your job wasn't doing that for you. So this is a good time for us all to reevaluate and up-level kind of who we are and take it to another space. So I think fear is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call within us to be, because look, if the outcome of this thing is death, then what are you waiting for? Live your life. Right?
Off yourself right now. No,
Oh my God. You have anything
Didn't say that.
You have anything?
Oh my gosh.
So anyways, we thought we'd come together and kind of share some thoughts. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and we thought this would be a good time to kind of share, and maybe we said something or didn't say anything that helped.
Yeah, I think everyone should think about their perspective right now. Like, what's your perspective? Right?
Yep.
Can it be positive, or is it just going to be what they're telling you it should be?
Right. And this is a good time for us to listen to ourselves, listen to our intuition, and follow that more than listening to what something outside of us is telling us. And the final thing is take a news fast. This weekend, fast from the news.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch the news 24/7 and build that fear.
Okay, my parting thought, because I saw it was somewhat, maybe you even sent it to me, if you don't come out of this a better person, you might as well just stay in isolation. It's all over. If you can't come out of this a better person, just stay inside.
We'll leave it on that note. I'm David.
I'm Sheryl.
Thank you.